Welcome everyone to this video. This is a video I was asked to do by my internet friend Teach Like a Girl, and it is the my first year teaching tag. I think I got that right. And it's summer, so you know what? Do I have a tank top on? Yes. Is anyone gonna say anything about that? I don't think so unless it's one of my students, because my students really get weird when I wear shirts with no sleeves on them. And this is a part of the first year teaching tag loop. So the idea here is there are a series of educators on YouTube that are doing this. So if you're following the loop, then you came from Teacher Tales, and then after you watch my video, you'll go on to Too Cool for Middle School. I really like both of those people. Keep this brief. You got a whole loop to go through. First question is, what was the worst moment in your first year of teaching? I had a lot of them. I think. I had one student that was a senior, and it was the first time I ever got cursed out by a kid. And it was an awakening moment. I asked him to step out of my class. I don't even remember what he did wrong. He got really mad. He told me he wasn't leaving. And then I said, you have to leave because I told you to leave. And then he picked up all the stuff on his desk, threw it across the room, hit the wall, and then cursed at me and left. I feel like a bad teacher. And then question number 2, what was the best moment in your first year? Learning to walk. Best moment of my first year, I had a lot of best moments in my first year. And I think that's just because I'm a pretty optimistic individual. And so like I tend to gravitate towards those sorts of things. However, there was a lesson that I made based on, here in the United States, February is Black History Month we celebrate. So I had something set up for Martin Luther King. We were gonna do this essay on persuasive writing and study the I Have a Dream speech.
I still have a dream.
We're gonna like make our own versions of it. It was gonna be awesome. I was so pumped about it. I got in the class, I presented to the students, and they were like, dude, this pretty much sucks. And we're all disappointed in you for having come up with this lesson. It was like a punch to the gut. So when I went back in the next day, I remember just asking the students, I remember sitting on the desk in the front of the classroom and asking my students, well, what would you do? Or what do you want to learn about? Or what are you interested in? We had a really great conversation, and that conversation led to a project that we came up with called the Harlem Renaissance Project. And that project took each student, gave them an individual who was a major part of the Harlem Renaissance, and they had to create a museum exhibit around that individual and then present it to the class. And the classroom became the Harlem Renaissance Museum. In that classroom, I had 20-foot ceilings in part of my room, and it from floor to ceiling was covered with posters and art projects, and it was really cool. These two girls, Genesis, who was in one of my student spotlight videos, made a piano, grand piano out of cardboard, and then inserted a piano in the front of it so that it actually worked, and kids performed. It was awesome. The lesson there was listen to your students, see what they're interested in, and then try and base a lesson around that instead of just trying to do what you want to do or what you think is going to be cool, because that thing was awesome and kids still talk about that today. Next question was, what's your biggest regret from your first year? Biggest regret? I don't know. I don't do regrets so much. If I was going to do something different, I think I would do what I tell all first year teachers to do differently. To just go 100 as soon as you're starting out the year and not like wait for the right time or for your tenure to get kicked in or for you to gain acceptance amongst the staff or something like that. Like, be the teacher you always wanted to be right now. Don't ever put it off. You will get comfortable putting it off. You will get comfortable not doing it. And then you lose it, and before you know it, it's like, it's harder to start then. Just become the teacher that you always wanted, and I don't know, and the hell with what everyone else has to say about you. You'll become known as like the crazier teacher in a good way, and then you just win every year after that because you just become known as that person. Numero 4. What is something you wish you knew before you had started teaching? I wish I knew a lot of stuff. I wish I knew that kids weren't going to do their homework and that students weren't going to be interested in stuff just because I was. That it actually takes time to become a good teacher. It takes time to get to know your students. It's really worth your while to get to know your students, no matter what anyone else says. It's good to make friends when you start teaching and not just sit in your room in a bubble and only know the students or just be all by yourself. It's okay to throw out assignments. Yeah, it really is. It's okay to throw out assignments. You don't have to grade all of them. It's okay. They'll still learn. It's okay to be yourself. It's okay to smile before Christmas. It's okay to be close to students and not worry that you're going to become their friend instead of like their teacher or their mentor. It's okay to disagree with your superiors. It's okay to be awesome. Be as awesome as you can from the first day. I think I already said that, but I think it's that important. Make your room look the greatest. Make your lunch the greatest. Make your clothes the greatest. Make your relationships with the students the greatest. Your projects the greatest. Your homework the greatest, your books that you pick to read in class the greatest. Be the greatest. And the last question, what advice would you give to a first-year teacher? I would give all the things I just said in number 4 as my advice, but I would also say this. Teaching is a craft. It takes time to get good at any craft. So whether that is learning how to play the drums, learning how to sew, learning how to bullfight. I'm sure there's a lot of bullfighters out there. Regardless, you don't just go into that bull ring and fight a bull the first time and it's super easy and you crush it. It takes time. You get hit by the bull sometimes and you gotta keep coming back. I don't really know why I'm going with this bull metaphor, but that's what I'm going with today. Be kind to yourself. Take your time. You'll have to do this a few years before you even start feeling better about what you're doing. And maybe some of you will hit it off that first year and you feel great about your teaching experience, but there's a pretty good chance that a lot of you within that first week, with the first month, first year are gonna feel like crap and like you don't know what you did. Like, why did you ever get into this profession? It's all right. And for those people, I'd also say, leave a comment down below or email me. I'd love to help you out with whatever situation you've gotten yourself into or someone else has gotten you into or whatever's going on. That's what I'm here for. All right, so now, I'm pretty sure what I'm asking the not so secret wife, I'm pretty sure a part of this is you have to like, subscribe, and hit the little bell thing, notification thing, before you can go to the next person in the loop. So after you do those things, you're gonna go and check out my good friend over at Too Cool for Middle School. Her channel is awesome, and she's really that sparkly. I talked to her on the phone, and she's really that nice and kind. And there's the beast. Yeah, the yawn at the end of my video. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace. It's the beast.